Sound that seemed to fade, came back like a slow voice on a wave of fade. That was no DJ, that was hazy cosmic time. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to know it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. It's over. Let the children use it. Let the children use it. Let all the children
Well, we successfully seem to be live, which is good.
That's a good start.
And here we are, another thrilling episode of that album with my great friend Andrew Ziggy Stardust. This is a funny one for me because this album came when I was 5 or 6. So I grew up with David Bowie being part of the soundtrack to my youth, I guess. And he almost completely passed me by. I pretty much never listened to any David Bowie. So I find it incredible that he well, I didn't appreciate that he actually had any talent until after he was dead. So I feel that I missed out on a huge amount, and this has been a really interesting week for me listening to this.
I'm on a similar path.
Right.
Yeah, David Bowie did pass me by. I think the first time I liked one of his albums or songs was Let's Dance.
Yep.
But then he was too different. He was too out there. And I didn't get it. Simple as that. It wasn't until later on I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I did like my little bit of initial research, and then I put the album on to listen to it, and I thought, from the moment that the needle went in the groove, metaphorically, on the beginning of the first track, it was like, wow, in 1972 this must have been an absolute moon landing for people when this arrived.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is,
or a Mars landing, perhaps.
Well, maybe, but I mean, it is just something that is so fresh, so different, and that's even in 2026. The whole concept album here, which we've heard concept albums from other artists, other genres and everything, but this one for me is just, it's a different gravy. It is out of this world.
Yeah.
Quite literally. And it is something that you think, oh, I've missed a trick here. But with the beauty of shows like this, we can then go over it again and say, yeah, we can give our picks. But it is it's a land-changing album for him, obviously.
Yeah.
It would be one that really put him on the market. It really introduced him to the world, even though he had Space Oddity earlier.
Yeah.
But there's so many good songs of this record.
Yeah. So okay, so this came out in 1972, and that's a long time ago now. That's like 54 years. So Bloody Sunday, we joined the EEC. The school leaving age was raised to 16. The first Quad War, the first of many minor strikes, the first broadcast of John Craven's News Round, as it was then, and Spaghetti Junction opened on the M6.
Is that true? There's still some cars stuck on there since then.
Yeah, I think so. Films: The Godfather, The Poseidon Adventure, Deliverance, Cabaret, The Way of the Dragon, Last Tango in Paris. Books: Watership Down, Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator, The Stepford Wives and the Odessa File, and then albums. So we've done Transformer and Pink Moon and Talking Book here that were released that year, but also albums from the Rolling Stones, Neil Young, Paul Simon, the Eagles, James Brown, Chuck Berry, Bonnie Raitt, Manfred Mann, the Doobie Brothers, Carly Simon, Marvin Gaye, Hawkwind, Isley Brothers, Slade, Little Feat, Jackson Browne, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Joni Mitchell. And now I think what is amazing about that is that we've got little intimate things like Joni Mitchell and Pink Moon. We've got big bands like the Rolling Stones and Paul Simon and the Eagles. But we've got Chuck Berry and James Brown that were certainly in my mind from a previous era. So, I mean, what a transformational year. And into that, this arrives.
Yeah, I mean, we're speaking there among all the artists you've named there, who I would say the majority of them have been featured on this show. It just shows the longevity of them all. And what surprises me that we've never covered a David Bowie album before on this show. I mean, that is something that surprises me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that the more there are some famous video interviews with David Bowie talking about all sorts of stuff, like the internet, for example. Yeah. When that famous clip when he's discussing it with Jeremy Paxman, and he clearly is like a massively intelligent man, and he's got a different kind of perception of these things. And he saw how transformational the internet was going to be when for most people it was something that you plugged your computer into to send emails. And his talent. So he played the acoustic guitar and the 12-string guitar and the electric guitar and the bass guitar and the saxophone and the tenor sax and the keyboards and percussion. So he was like a multi-instrumentalist, even though he didn't do much of that stuff when he was on stage. So a lot of these albums, he recorded all of this stuff. We can argue that, certainly, because the 70s and possibly the 80s were, certainly for me, the golden period of music. And I mean, this is just so, as you said, it's so fresh even today.
I mean, what can we say about David Bowie that no one said already? I mean, he has changed fashion, he's changed music, he's done movies in every genre in between. And you're right, he was a visionary that few of us will ever see. I mean, I would say probably Prince is probably close to that sort of icon as such.
Yeah.
Very musical. The music was brilliant, also very private. So you've seen all the things that were happening with him and everything like that. And he's sorely missed. He would have been at the forefront of so much everything if he was still alive today.
Yeah, absolutely. So he was oddly, I say oddly, people are very poor at predicting the future, aren't they? So when he did Space Oddity, the public largely dismissed him as a one-hit wonder, it says here. By 1971, however, the gears of a revolution were turning with his fourth album, Hunky Dory Bowie, crystallized. Hunky Dory Bowie. This crystallized his songwriting genius, but he still was missing the theatrical vehicle that would bridge the gap between high art, performance, and primal rock and roll. I think what is really interesting is that this character, Ziggy Stardust, that he created was like a hodgepodge of many of the people that had been influential to him during his youth. So Vince Taylor, an English rockabilly singer who had a psychological breakdown and believed he was a cross between a god and an alien. The Stardust Cowboy, an outsider psychobilly musician with whom Bowie borrowed the Stardust moniker, from whom, Iggy Pop and Lou Reed as well. So it's like kind of all of these things coming together and he's synthesized them into his own creation.
I think we could throw in Mark Bolan in there as well. I mean, that was just, as you said, a whole hodgepodge. But that's, when you look back at the individuals, okay, your Lou Reed, Iggy Pop, it is substantial artists he did work with, and it's artists that influenced one another with what they did. And it's just to come out with that and become such iconic with these characters as you went along. I mean, the Thin White Duke, the Aladdin Zane. It is so that the chameleon in him as his music changed. And sometimes you'll get bands that are the same album repeated over and over again.
Yeah.
This man changed so many times. It was so fresh every time.
Yeah, and I think what is amazing is that, you know, certainly in England and Scotland and Wales, but England and like around London, it was a very conservative, with a small c, world. So for him to put on makeup and skin tight lycra and stuff, not being gay and not presenting himself as gay, but presenting himself as this kind of androgynous, you don't know what he is or who he is kind of character, was incredibly brave. And even today, I wouldn't be brave enough to go to market like he went to market 50 plus years ago. Just incredible and innovative, because although he's taken these threads that he's woven together into a new character, there is no sense that he's copied anybody.
No, it's all original. It is all authentic, and it's all so brand new. I mean, a quick story in that, where he was interviewed by Michael Parkinson. He was speaking about the Ziggy Stardust years, and when he went to the band on, yes, we're going to be wearing, this is the costumes we're going to be wearing, and this is the look we're going to have. And as he said, because they're all burly men from Yorkshire, he went, I ain't wearing that. And 2 months later, and they're all pushing each other out the mirrors and everything, saying, where's the lip gloss and where's the eyeliner and everything like that. It just shows that they all bought into it, because they knew the direction that he was bringing them was the right direction. And he stuck to his guns and he went for it. And it's just so unbelievable that, as you said, at that time, that it just didn't just kick down about it. It actually smashed through the whole bloody lot of them.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's have a bit of music. So first track, 5 Years. Not an explosive rock riff, but a solitary fading drum beat. It sets an apocalyptic stage. Earth is doomed, resources are exhausted, and society is experiencing a collective emotional breakdown. 55 years on, not a lot's changed. So here we go, 5 Years.
News have just come over. We had 5 years left to cry. This guy wept and told us I was really dying. Cried so much his face was wet. Then I knew he was not lying. I heard telephones, opera house, favorite melody. It's all boys, toys, electric irons and TVs. My brain hurt like a warehouse. It had no room to spare. I had to cram so many things to store everything in there. And all the fat, skinny people, and all the tall, short people.
So one of the things that strikes me about this album is that in and we've seen this a few times with albums from this period. It's got a bit of that kind of musical theatre stage performance about it. You know, it's a big conception of an album rather than a series of funky little catchy tracks, and it's I guess it's born of a time when these things were filled with ambition. You know, this is more than just a piece of music. This is more than just a series of tracks. This is like this big dream.
The whole story, I mean, I just said it was like a rock opera, but you can feel the interlinkage between each track as it goes on, as you said. And this is a brilliant introduction, I think. I mean, it takes you in gently. It takes you in and it just teases you into the narrative of the whole album. And it's such done a way that, I mean, it sounds the way he sings it, and then becomes later on, he starts to really shout at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like John Lennon, where you get the song Mother, where he gets into that sort of narrative. So it's very teasing into the whole narrative that he's trying to get you into, and it just leads you on to more and more better things as it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I guess a shocking first track, because nothing else like that around at the time. Next track, Soul Love. Following the devastation of the opener, Soul Love provides a jaunty, almost carefree musical backdrop to examine different archetypes of human love: a grieving mother, young lovers, a priest. There's a steady bass line, fluid saxophone, and a cynical subtext. Love is portrayed as a robotic, involuntary, and ultimately tragic human programming.
Sounds like a normal weekend.
Here we go, Soul Love.
Sing a slogan that hovers between the headstone and the rise, fully penetrate her grieving. You and love, the boy and girl, the talking you words that only they can share with you. Love so strong it tears their hearts through the fleeting hours of morning. Love is gathered, dreaming over across the planet. Love is hands of those defenseless, giving you love.
Yeah, so it's a nice kind of more upbeat release of the depressive tension of the previous track, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice little gentle medley as it goes on. I mean, there's comparisons to the riff of Stand By Me, and there's the gentle hand clapping as they go along with it as well. I mean, it's just teasing you and teasing. I mean, when this album came out and when you had to listen to it as an album, it would have been, I mean, you've got to sit there and take it all in. I mean, nowadays you can just skip after 10 seconds, but this one, you've got to take it all in, and that is the beauty of this album.
Yeah, I mean, I can honestly say it's been a revelation for me. So, well, we'll get to it a bit later, but up until we started this album, the most experience that I had of him was the duet they did with Bing Crosby, you know, Ground Control to Major Tom. and also his guest appearance in Extras, the Ricky Gervais thing, when he sang at the piano in the bar, which was priceless. And I thought he's actually a very talented actor. He's obviously incredibly charismatic. He's very endearing. I mean, I remember him saying, "People think it's great being or people think it must be great being a rock star married to a supermodel," and it is. It's fantastic, and you know, but very very endearing kind of character, or certainly seemed to be from the outside.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he gives that impression that he's not aloof to the world around him.
No,
He knows his place, but he also knows that there's a lot of darkness in the world, and there's people need a lot of help. So he is in touch with that, and he knew he knew everything. He was one of those people. He knew who he was, but he also knew what he was.
Yeah,
and he used that.
Yeah, absolutely. So on to Moonage Daydream, and this is when the Ziggy character is introduced. It introduces the heavy cosmic guitar heroics of the Spiders, originally recorded in 1971 with Bowie's short-lived side project Arnold Corns. This definitive version features a raw, hyper-sexualized vocal performance. The track culminates in one of rock history's greatest moments, Mick Ronson's soaring multi-tracked avant-garde guitar solo, which dissolves into a haunting recorder and string arrangement. So here we go, Moonage Daydream.
I'm an alligator. I'm a mama, papa coming for you. I'm the space invader. I'll be a rock and rollin' bitch for you. Keep your mouth shut. Just walk aloud and make monkey bird. I'm busting up my brains for the world. Keep your electric out, baby. Put your brain on fire. Let's go space, bring out the moonage daydream. Oh, yeah. Don't fake it, baby. Now you're the real thing on me. The church of man loves us. It's such a holy place to be. Make me, baby. Make me know you really care. Make me jump into the air.
Yeah, just check out Jim going on about the fact he was there and he spotted Bowie before we did, and it's like this is one of those moments. Like, so in 1992, when the Berlin Wall came down, a friend of mine who I was working with at the time said, "Oh, I've taken a few days off. I'm going to Berlin to help pull the Berlin Wall down." And I thought to myself,
Yeah,
why would anyone go and do that? Clearly not understanding the full significance of this moment in modern history. And, you know, she brought back like a big piece of it with the graffiti and everything on it. And I kind of think that this, being there at this moment, is like one of those pivotal defining moments of modern music, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is a JFK moment, isn't it? So everybody knows, well, apart from me and yourself, knows where we were when JFK died. I mean, for us, probably, we all know where we were when Princess Diana died. I mean, that point in history that will always sit with us. And for Jim, I hope he doesn't embellish the fact that he didn't try to sign David Bowie. But he didn't try to get him on one of his tracks. But, I mean, we'll leave that with Jim. Maybe he did. But, but I mean, to be there and see it happens, I mean, wow. Just wow.
Yeah. And the next track, obviously one of the his best known tracks, I guess, Starman. Interesting to read that this was like a last minute addition.
Yeah.
He was going to do a cover of Chuck Berry's Round and Round, and this was written because RCA insisted that the album lacked a commercial single. And this is like one of the tracks that, even as somebody that doesn't know Bowie, this is one of the tracks that it comes on and you go, okay, I know exactly what this is, and I know the words, and I know all the music. Because it's so, I guess at the time this was so ubiquitous, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be thrown on the album at the last minute sort of thing, and to fit into the narrative of the whole album is just like, oh wow.
Yeah, so in my notes here it says driven by the performance of this in the UK charts, driven by a legendary culture-shifting 1972 performance of Starman on BBC's Top of the Pops, where a heavily made-up Bowie slung his arm casually around Mick Ronson's shoulders. The album skyrocketed. It peaked at number 5 in the UK album charts and remained on the charts for over 2 years. So this was like a mega turning point, I guess, wasn't it, for him?
I mean, Top of the Pops. Wow. I mean, there was a program you had to be on. If you were anyone, you had to be on Top of the Pops. I mean, there is no music shows nowadays, but there's no music shows ever been like it or ever will be.
No.
To get that sort of out there and to resonate with everyone so much just tells you the longevity of the guy.
Yeah. So here we go, Starman.
Didn't know what time it was, the bags were low, I leaned back on my radio, some cat was laying down some rock and roll, not a soul said. Then the loud sound that seemed to fade, came back like a slow voice on a wave of fade. That wasn't no DJ, that was hazy cosmic time. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds. There's a starman waiting in the sky. He's told us not to know it, 'cause he knows it's all worthwhile. He told me, let the children use it, let the children use it, we'll all the children do, yeah.
I mean, just absolutely inspired. So when the album came out, it's like staggering looking at the reviews of the album. All Music 5 stars, Blender 5 stars, Chicago Tribune 5 stars, Encyclopedia of Popular Music 5 stars, Q Magazine 5 stars, Rolling Stone Album Guide 5 stars, Slant Magazine 5 stars, Spin 5 stars, Uncut 5 stars. So it's like everybody is saying this is the best thing that they've ever heard. Sold obviously millions of copies. Interestingly, it didn't get to number 1 in the UK. It didn't get to number 1 in America, but it consistently charts every time there's an anniversary or a remix of it being released. So just a phenomenally successful album.
I mean, it's for the David Bowie aficionados, they'll be able to pick the best David Bowie album that's out there. But I mean, everybody will go on about the Berlin albums and things like that. I mean, but for this to resonate for like every time, like she says, an anniversary, an event in space or whatever like that, I mean, you'll hear this song on the radio, yeah?
Yeah, every time there's a space launch, this is the background to it, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like, how many space movies has this song been in? So, I mean, it is his album, it is his theme song to me. Yeah. He is the Starman. He is out there, and this I mean, even my son knows the words, and he's not a David Bowie fan.
Yeah, it absolutely incredible. And I mean, not only one of the best songs, possibly the best song on the album, but also one of the best songs of the year and the decade. Just absolutely incredible and still relevant today.
Yeah, I mean, when they've taken in the space age, when they've not long went to the moon, and they're embarking on a new push to get out of the world and see what's out there. I mean, it is the soundtrack to that time.
Yeah. So on to the last track of the first side, the only cover on the album, written by Ron Davies, and originally recorded during the Hunky Dory sessions. It sits, according to my notes, it sits somewhat awkwardly in the narrative, but provides a powerful bluesy cabaret-esque gospel closer to side one.
Yeah.
So here we go. It Ain't Easy. I mean, he does have, and we see this when he kind of reinvents himself as he goes from album to album and genre to genre. He has a very adaptable voice and delivery style, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to. Well, you see the changes in what he sings through the years, and it's like, will the real David Bowie please stand up?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that rounds out side one. Flip the album over. Side two, piano ballad, a thinly veiled tribute to Bowie's contemporary and friend stroke rival Mark Bolan, who you mentioned earlier. The song explores gender-bending androgyny and the audience's fascination with a performer who blurs the lines of masculinity. And I think that's really interesting, isn't it? Because at the time, you would have thought that you would have perceived this as being somebody who was clearly camp and probably gay. However, I don't ever believe that he was gay. He's in many ways, particularly when you see him out of costume, out of uniform. He's a normal, straight-laced, kind of clever working guy. You see him in a suit and a tie with a cigarette, and it's just like he looks like he could be going into the office, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, he played this character.
Mm.
I mean, how many people actually knew what androgynous means in 1972?
Yeah.
And so it's that mystique into it, and so he could be David Jones, as he liked to call himself when he wasn't working.
Mm.
And he portrayed himself as David Jones. But this was Ziggy. This is David Bowie. This is the rock star, and this was Ziggy Stardust.
Mm.
So it takes him away from the character, and everybody's like, "Who is this guy?" And it just gives him another layer and another aspect to his character.
Yeah. So David's saying here, when we came into a very conservative grammar school in the morning after this first appeared on Top of the Pops, it was like the world had changed. We had changed. We didn't talk about anything else that week. And I can imagine, it was like, so I was a little bit young when this album came out, probably to be that engaged by cultural and art events. But for me, it would have been probably when late at night, and I was probably in my early teens, late at night when Thriller was broadcast. The movie of the soundtrack and the video of Thriller, which was however long it was, 35 minutes, and it was on at midnight. And it was that was the same thing, just like there was no other conversation in the playground the next day or the next week or actually ever after that. And I think that's like what's happened here. You've crossed a significant milestone, haven't you? And things are never going to be the same again.
It's the culture change. It is the light bulb moment for what people were waiting for. They needed a light. I mean, as you said, Michael Jackson, how many people were walking around in red leather jackets after it? How many people were putting gloves on in one hand?
Yeah.
It was that change for them as it was for us in the 80s.
Well, imagine the Michael Jackson leather jacket, but not red and black, brown and tan. And I had one of those. And I was away on holiday, and I went into a shop I think it was in Glastonbury, and I went into a leatherware shop there, and this thing and it was fiercely expensive. Must be getting on for 40 years ago. And I went in and bought this thing, and I seem to remember it was like 450 quid then, which would be like a huge amount of money now. And I don't know what possessed me to do it, other than the fact I thought it was really cool. Anyway, I came back from holiday. We had a works do. I put this jacket on to go to the works do, and everybody literally wet themselves laughing because it looks so ridiculous. And I never wore it again. So there we go. An interesting thing based on fashion of the time. Anyway, here we go. Track 1, side 2, Lady Stardust. Yeah, I mean, really, really interesting lyrics. Talking about the makeup on his face and stuff, which must have been, as you said about the Parkinson interview, with convincing the band that they needed to wear makeup and stuff, was a huge shift. And actually, it's still seen as being not mainstream today, isn't it? Guys wearing makeup.
No, it's not. I mean, maybe I'm just being an old fuddy-duddy, but no, it's not what they were doing. But I mean, it's interesting, this sort of track here, that for me, it's got a feel of something from the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Mm.
It's got the feel and the texture of when they've taken it the high in the show, that this is taking the audience back down again. This is what I think what seem to be doing here as we progress. So yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll be looking for eyeliner tonight when I go out, or looking for my mascara. So no, it's not for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't knock it till you tried it. So, Star A fast-paced, musical-influenced rocker where the protagonist muses on the vanity of rock stardom. It provides an ironic glimpse into why Ziggy wants the spotlight, not just to save the world, but because he's playing the part of the rock star and is better at being better than being a lethal bore. I mean, with this, you can really hear the music hall influence, which it was one of his obsessions when he was young, and he's folded it into this, and like the kind of the character of Ziggy, and obviously not just that, but the musical style is an assemblage of all those different things that have influenced him, and it's fascinating how they come out, isn't it, in this?
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a convergence of everything he's put together, as you said, and he's just giving you a wee sneak behind the curtain with this one, so to think, that this is what I am really like. But it's just, again, you think, is it just a smoke screen or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. So hang on to yourself. A proto-punk guitar riff. The song captures the hedonistic, fast-paced momentum of Ziggy's peak tour. It's in keeping. But I kind of, in many ways, I see this as being a placeholder for the next song.
Yeah, I mean, we need a lull to draw us back in.
Yeah.
And this is it. I mean, he can't keep us up in that high for the whole album. No, very few albums do, but this is that placeholder for it.
Yeah. So here you go. Hang on to yourself. So this is you can, well, I don't know whether everyone agrees, but I can certainly hear this is very much a Mark Bolan tribute song.
Yeah,
it absolutely could be T-Rex, not just having written this, but also delivering it in terms of how he's using his voice and everything. It's very much like Bolan, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you can hear a White Swan there for sure.
Yeah,
you can definitely hear that there. I mean, is an homage to him? Don't know, but again, it was at the time. It was like, yeah. But as we said, this is leading into what I would consider probably the best end to an album ever.
Yeah, I would. I would agree. So this next song, I mean, I didn't even know it was going to be on this album when you suggested this album. And this, along with Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple, and later Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner, this is the song that every boy with a guitar at school learns to play. Because actually it's easy and it's distinctive and it's just... I mean, it's iconic, isn't it? This is like one of his biggest ever songs.
Yeah, I mean, it is title track of the album. He is the Starman. He is Ziggy Stardust, and whoever wants to try and cover it, you're a brave person.
Absolutely.
But this is really getting to the end and to the story of Ziggy Stardust, and I just think this is where it really takes off. Takes you. Well, at first I thought the first 3 tracks was a nice intro, Legion Starman.
Yeah.
To actually leave on these next 3 tracks,
Yeah, is a fantastic sum up.
it's a fantastic way to end.
So retrospective legacy. I'll read you word for word what is said here. Today, Ziggy Stardust is universally regarded as a masterpiece and a turning point in rock history. Pitchfork said about it, it awarded it a 10 out of 10, highlighting how Bowie successfully mapped out the modern blueprint for the rock star as a fluid, self-constructed myth. Rolling Stone ranked it number 40 on its 2020 list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. I mean, it's a remarkable legacy to leave, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, and even then, if you look at his work, his whole body of work, this was just the start. I mean, some of these other songs he's came away with in future years, like Let's Dance, wow.
Yeah, and at this point, he was 25 at the point that this album was released.
Okay.
So, still a baby, really, and already such a strong sense of self. And I guess that's part of the takeaway from the album is you can be who you truly are, and you can reinvent yourself if you want to, and you don't have to follow what everybody else is doing. And I think that's a really important lesson.
Oh, he was never a follower.
No,
he was never a follower. And yeah, I mean, I think this show's covered so many artists, especially young artists, when they broke through.
Yeah.
And I remember when you and Eric did George Michael, 23, when he was writing his albums. And it just makes you think, where do these people have that life expectancies? And come out with that stories and that songs, and to strike a chord, not just when that album and song came out, but for 50 years later, it's still doing the same.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable, truly timeless.
Yeah.
So here we go, Ziggy Stardust.
Guitar, jamming good with Webb and Gilly, and the spiders were marked. He played it left hand, but made it too far. Became the special man, then we were Ziggy's band. Ziggy really sang, screwed up eyes and screwed down hairdo. Like some cat from Japan, he could lick on by smiling, he could leave them to hand. They came on so loaded, man, well hung Snow White man. So where were the spiders while the fly tried to break our bones? Just the fear like to guide us. So we pitched around his fans, and should we clutch his sweet hands?
I mean, this is proper rock now, isn't it? This track, and it's such a although it's kind of like one of the most intense tracks on the album. It's also a release because it's something which feels more familiar, doesn't it? More like home ground.
Yeah, I mean, taking this song as itself, just on its own, without the story of the album, this is just era-defining songs. It
Yeah.
just gives you that aura of the time, but it also gives you a vision of the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So penultimate track, Suffragette City, a real crowd pleaser.
Yeah, I mean, for this to be actually being put on this album, what got released as a single in 1976.
Okay, so 4 years later. Yeah.
I mean, you would never hear of that nowadays.
No.
I mean, this is the longevity of the album, longevity of the man, and again, taking the audience when they listen to it on another amazing journey.
Yeah. One of the things that strikes me about this album is that all the tracks are really short. So the longest one is Moonage Daydream at 4 minutes 41. But the most of them are like 3 minutes, and there's an awful lot crammed into a small amount of space here, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, every song's got substance. It's not like there's a lot of filler with it. I mean, you could, even when It Ain't Easy wasn't even written by Bowie, and he fitted that in perfectly to the whole album. So the whole album still feels that, and you try and find an artist nowadays that could write that much album, that many songs that could fill a stadium.
So part of this, I guess, is about. Oh, incidentally, you hadn't mentioned it, Jim. So I'm glad you have now. One take wonders. So producer Ken Scott has frequently noted in interviews that Bowie was an incredibly efficient studio vocalist. Nearly 90% of the lead vocals on the album were captured on the very first take, showcasing Bowie's immense focus and theatrical conviction. I mean, that's a lot of practice to get to the point where you're going to do something like this in a single take, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just to get the feel of it on the first take. I mean, how many takes do people take? It's normal. So, I mean, this album, okay, it would have had its mix, it would have had the sort of edits about it, but for the vocals to be done majority first time, gee whiz.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable. And I guess it just underlines his professionalism. I began by saying one of the things that really surprised me when I did a bit of research was that basically everything in the studio he can play. So, you assume that he's a singer. Not that I'm belittling the fact that you're just a singer, but you see him as just a singer. But he played the 6-string guitar, the 12-string guitar, the bass guitar, 2 types of saxophone, all of the keyboard instruments, all of the drums. He could play all of these things really well. So, clearly for him, this is it's a language that he speaks very fluently in music.
Not only fluent, he's creating his own language that people have got to come and listen to.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last track, Rock and Roll Suicide. It is influenced by French chanson cabaret, apparently. It is. isn't just finishing a concept album, he is forging an eternal pact with every misfit in his audience, it says in my notes about this. And it does kind of feel like that, doesn't it? It feels like it's almost like a manifesto for people that are not mainstream. It's an invitation, or giving people permission to be themselves.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it could hark back to Cook's itself, because everyone's a cook. So he accepts that people are different, and then even nowadays people struggle with that, and he was doing it back in 1970s. So to reach out to the different people, shall we say, people that are strange, that it gave him a voice, it gave him an audience, it gave them someone to look up to who would be on their side, and he always has been.
Yeah. So when this came out, Rolling Stone praised the album's ambition, stating that Bowie had begun to package his complex cinematic schemes with stunningly unified musical sound. I noted that the album possessed a shattering, brilliant intensity, which it does. So let's play out on the last track. Andrew, Zag, if I may, thank you so much. I mean, this has been really a revelation for me, and I'm so glad that you brought this. It's just absolutely fantastic, and
I think we learned a lot in this album, and a lot more to come. And so thank you, Adam, again for the privilege, and hopefully we'll do this again soon.
I'm sure we will. Next week, I'm joined by Jim Kerr, and we're going to be doing Jackson Browne, The Pretender. So until next week, and thank you everybody in the audience, of course, for sharing your experiences and your knowledge and just the lovely banter that we've had going on. So here we go, Rock and Roll Suicide. As Jim says, if you needed to write a track to close one of the greatest ever LPs, you would hope that you would write Rock and Roll Suicide. And it's a great way to finish the show. So have a great weekend, everyone, and see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Time takes a cigarette, puts it in your mouth. You pull on your finger, then another finger, then a cigarette. The water wall is calling, it lingers, then you forget. Oh, 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 you're a rock and roll suicide. You're too old to lose it, too young to choose it, and the clock waits so patiently on your song. Walk past the cafe that you don't eat when you've lived too long. Oh no, 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 you're a rock and roll suicide. Ship breaks the snarling as you stumble